Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Steve. It's my friend Alex. Known him for many, many years. We worked in law enforcement together, talking about movies. But Alex, you go ahead and introduce yourself and brief background.
How you doing, everybody? My name's Alex. Steve and I have been friends for a number of years. Like he was saying, we used to work in law enforcement together on the same shift, same team. And when I first met him, we expressed our love for movies. Um, you know, I, we had some long night shifts, so we would spend a lot of time, comparing like our thoughts on different films and whatnot. And you know, years later, we're still friends, and here we are.
Still talking about the
Trying to
same
give
stuff.
you guys you exactly. Exactly.
For our inaugural movie review or revisit or what's the other word I'm looking for? Retrospective, maybe. You know,
Respect, refresher. Yeah.
um, we kind of wanted to get into some of the '70s blaxploitation movies that don't get enough love these days. Everybody knows about the big ones, the Shavs, the Superflies, the Foxy Brown and stuff. But the movie we chose today doesn't get, I think, enough love. Even though it is a groundbreaking movie, it's a great movie. So, Alice, would you like to introduce?
Sure. We're talking today about Truck Turner, the legendary Isaac Hayes. This film, again, like Steve was saying, it just hasn't gotten enough love through the years, and of course, because it's pretty much in the shadow of Shaft. But I think that the film itself was great. I mean, it's something that should pop up in everybody's head when you think about that time period. It came out June 26, 1974. I was 2 years old, I think. um, but again, Shaft came out in '71, so a lot of films that took place after Shaft kind of like fell in the shadow of it, especially blaxploitation films.
Yeah.
The tough guy films. But I think Isaac did a great job, and I think that the cast in this film was outstanding, and it deserves to be recognized, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. And we had talked before about how the movies of that era kind of saved Hollywood. Writer strike stuff going on. Those movies kind of kept Hollywood afloat. And it's kind of a shame that this is one of those movies that don't really hear about as much anymore. There's no remake and all this other stuff. Um, and I think it could work. It would be, maybe you'd have to change the storyline obviously a little bit, but the story of skip traces, that's timeless. You know what I'm saying? You can put that storyline, in the Wild West or in present day, so it is one of those movies I think
Right.
could do well with a remake.
Surprising enough, man, I found a little information that I think it was 2004. Queen Latifah and the Flavor Unit. Well, I think our company's name is Flavor Unit Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
They attempted to make a remake. Of course, it was kept hush because I didn't hear about it until I did the research on the film, and I obviously it didn't fall through.
Yeah.
But she at least made the attempt to try to make a remake, and I think figured 2004 that would have been a nice film if they got the right people together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and Isaac Hayes was still alive at that point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I can't remember what year Isaac. I know Isaac was 65 when he died.
yeah, because I remember he left South Park before he died.
Like in like 2010.
2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, Truck Turner, and for those of you with an eagle eye, you see, man, Alex got a Truck Turner vinyl behind him. He's a collector.
Yeah, I got to thank for soundtracks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh, I think that when you have a chance, even back in the day, I was younger. I'd go see films, and I always wanted to get the soundtrack for it. Vinyl nowadays, it's just either digital or CD. But I always felt that when you have a soundtrack, you kind of take a little piece of the moments of the film with you,
yeah,
home or you're playing throughout the day, and just remember what happened on those scenes. It's a must.
soundtracks didn't start, with Flashdance. You know what I'm saying? Purple Rain even. It was before that.
Yeah.
It was before that.
Yes.
So yeah, man, we're talking about Truck Turner and Isaac Hayes, of course. He's got to do an iconic theme song. The movie starts out with a nice funky theme song that kind of introduces you to the city and what you're about to be up against. It's L.A., but it's all like grimy looking, and it's not the nice part of L.A. that the movie starts out with. And you see a bunch of bail bondsman signs and everything.
Right.
And there's that funny one that says, "I'll get you out in 10 years or less." I thought I had to run that back. Like, well, did I just read that right? 10 years or less? So yeah. So how do we get introduced to Truck in this movie?
Well, basically, it seems like Truck had a hard night, so he's waking up to the phone ringing, and it's his sidekick Jerry giving him a call, letting him know that they've got to go pick somebody up. Of course, he has to get himself together and whatnot. To me, it's classic detective or tough guy scene at that time period where he's got his house is disheveled. Yeah. He's got a cat. The cat's name is Francis, and apparently I'm thinking that he's staying with Annie. It's not his apartment. I think it's Annie's apartment. Yeah. And he's basically cat sitting while she's having her issues. You find that out later on what's going on with that. So he ends up getting himself together and having a small conversation with Francis, who happens to piss on his last clean shirt. So again, today's standards, I think Peter would have a problem with that scene. Him saying, "Yeah,
smacking him off
my
the dresser.
last shirt, man." But that was exactly.
Yeah, that was
hilarious. I thought that was really, really funny.
Yeah,
and then
that was reality right there when a pet pisses on your clothes. Like I said, that wouldn't fly in a movie nowadays. Matter of fact, let me start out by saying there's a lot of stuff in this movie that wouldn't fly past 2010. A lot. And yeah. So you just get that. If you
figure the film subject matter. Yeah. Yeah. This is not the film to be sensitive on.
Yeah.
You got to judge. You got to look at the time period, the time frame, and what was most of the content of our films had a lot of stuff that was rough around the edges, and this one is definitely on that list.
And what was okay to say and get away with back then,
Yeah.
so
different now.
Yeah. on that note, after he slaps the cat off the desk, is his boy Jerry. They're riding, and Jerry says, man, you're a slob. Or no, he didn't call him a slob. He said you're an unclean MF. You're an unclean MF. I'm gonna try. I know I'm gonna slip, y'all. I'm gonna slip. I'm gonna try to keep it as clean as possible. But he said you're an unclean MF. And he said, "Hold on, man, I ain't no slob, but in my opinion, yeah, you definitely are, because we just saw your apartment."
Right. That scene right there was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. He's like, "You an unclean dude," It just cracked me up because again, he's already trying to get himself straight to go to work, and he already knows the deal about the shirt, and then his boy got to chime in on it. I just thought it was hilarious, man. It's hilarious. But again, at the same time, it kind of shows like their relationship's kind of organic. Like this is somebody that I've been working with for a minute. So that's that comfort zone there. Right. Like it's just like the daily back and forth between them. So
and that's something that maybe we talk about generational differences where people, maybe younger people these days, they don't usually stay in a place for 5, 10, 15 years. They kind of move around a lot. They may not build that relationship with their coworkers, and it might not be that strong. So like back in the day when me and you worked together, anything was fair game. You know what I'm saying? You don't get too personal. Anything was fair game. You know what I'm saying? It's all in good fun. That's what makes y'all cool. But some of the stuff they say in this movie, man, it wouldn't fly. Not these days. And Jerry, even back then, I don't know, people was disrespecting his wife. So I don't know. Like Truck said, man. So you henpecked.
Yeah, I think that was because again, you can see kind of like the way Jerry's personality was, and for his wife to kind of be maybe more of the, a stronger, part of the family unit with them too. So yeah, he's henpecked. You letting her talk to you like this, that, and the third, and you just sitting there. You're still with her. Again, that's kind of like the red areas that we were talking about. Womanize, different stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, at that time period, a strong female.
Right.
I'm saying, just one of them.
This is my wife's new car. This is my wife's new car. He's like, all right, all right, man. He's like, open it up, man. You ain't scared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That right there was hilarious. Set him up.
I thought this was funny. They're going to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pick up the guy. I didn't write his name.
Right. Garrett. The guy's name is Garrett.
So they're going to pick up. They're going to pick him up from the base. He's got a warrant. He's wanted for rape and assault. And
child molestation.
Right. He get to the gate, and as one of the guards is obvious stereotypical 70s redneck in a uniform.
Right.
And just kind of talks down to him and everything. And Truck ends up punking the redneck security guard with the worst plan possible.
Yeah.
So
driving off.
driving through the gate, getting shot at from a military installation, and says, back left tire. I need a new tire. This is the worst plan I've ever heard of.
Yeah, could have cost them both their life.
What?
Definitely.
And for real, let's be honest, they would have ended up in prison or on a military.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to just break through the gate because you got a warrant.
Nah.
And
not on civilian business.
No. And then the airman was down there, changing his tire and whatnot, and still talking trash. What was I supposed to do? Let him go on? No, but there were some laws broken here, Truck, but we let that fly because it's your movie,
Right. But
honestly, I was interested in getting your opinion about that scene in particular, because I was like, man, this dude just broke onto a military.
We both proud military, man. I mean, I just like, man, you trying to get killed, So they drove off, and it's funny how the other airman was like, well, maybe we should talk to the major first, before boy, it's just the other guard was just like, he already had his head set, like, they on some BS and you're beneath me, so I'm going to let you know that you're not getting in here. Right. Okay, what kind of paperwork you got, on official business? Of course, that bail bondsman, you were under orders to bring back the individual that skipped bail, no matter what. But again, that's that clash there, military versus civilian. And nowadays, the credits would have been rolling up. They would have been shot up.
Yeah. There would have been no question about that. Because the guy said, we got ourselves a couple of Negro bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that flew back then, y'all. In the movies, this kind of just flew back then. But it's Truck's movie.
Right. Right. But he got the hero's pass on that one.
Right. So they go to talk to the major. The major's acting a little squirrely about, giving the guy over. He asked him, has he been in combat? And Truck's response was one of those ones that, you need to watch the movie. You need to watch the movie, y'all. I ain't going to repeat it. It's one of the things that just wouldn't fly past, 2000s in movies. And if Truck says, hey, man, what are the papers going to say when they find out you're harboring a rapist? A child molester.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So Major gives him over. What happens next? What happens next?
Oh, man. Okay. So they get Mr. Garrett, who is the child molester. And, of course, Mr. Garrett has issues being brought in by two Negro bounty hunters. Yeah. And, he's running off at the mouth. Truck gives him a fair warning. Hey, man, look, I'm not trying to hear all that. You're going in. Okay, who it is, we taking you in. And Mr. Garrett had an issue with it, so he's like, yeah, you're real tough with these handcuffs I got on. So, Truck Turner, Isaac Hayes playing the character to the fullest, being the man that he is in the film, removed the handcuffs and commenced to beating his.
Hey.
You're a big man while I got these cuffs on, ain't you, nigger?
Giving him what he asked
hilarious.
For. Giving him what he
hilarious.
Asked for.
Yeah, it got to the point where it was so bad that Jerry was like, man, haven't you beaten this man enough? Dude, I laughed. I was dead. I was dying.
No, Jerry, I haven't.
So, So when they get said and done, you see the car pull off from the little area where they were fighting at. And the guy's in the back seat, of course, you don't see him sitting up straight. You see his legs sticking out like he's unconscious.
Like a roach.
Right. So job was done.
Man,
hilarious scene, man.
What I thought
hilarious.
was funny, man, was when when Truck was finished taking his piss against the tree, and the guy said, "I heard about you, Truck. From what I heard, I was expecting that 2-ton gorilla."
Right. Just picking with him off the back, man. Like, come on, man. You just asking for it,
Yeah. 2-ton gorilla.
Yeah.
I like
but that part right there really got me to the point where I thought about it after the fact, and it's almost like it was setting a tone. Like, the films that during that time period, you kind of like understood that there was going to be a little bit of that, and it had to be, hard pill to swallow, right?
Yeah.
This film set the tone where like this ain't gonna be that kind of movie, and that's what really got me to saying, yeah, this ain't gonna be that kind of movie,
right?
And it was taken care of. I loved it. Perfectly planned. Beautiful.
We get introduced to Nate Dinwiddie, all right, and I wrote down in my notes specifically to describe Nate Dinwiddie as like a discount Barry White.
Yeah.
He had the same
definitely
like pompadour haircut, trying to get to Tahiti where the women got the boobs out, and just
that was his dream.
Yeah, we get introduced to him talking to a lady who's trying to get her husband bailed out, and she's talking about, "I go to Nate Dinwiddie. He's the best. He'll get your husband out." He's like, "Woman, don't look. Stop. Do you have cash? Basically, you talking all this noise. I ain't trying to get burned for $1,000." She said, "Do you accept food stamps?" So what happens after that?
So after that, you kind of have there's a scene like this was after the fact where they're done dropping off Mr. Garrett, and they're in there trying to get paid, and trying to figure out what's next on the menu. And this scene here I thought was really decent because you had a gentleman that was sitting in there already. I don't know if he was like the local town bum or whatever, but an individual that was in there actually I'm trying to think of his name now.
Yeah, I had his name pulled up.
I got it. Charlie Cyphers.
Okay.
Charlie Cyphers ends up being later on the main sheriff in the town of Haddonfield, which was Halloween. John Carpenter's.
Yeah.
Halloween. So he was a famous individual, and I thought it was kind of a decent scene of him hanging out in the bail bondsman shop, and of course there's a conversation with with Truck, and then Nate, and of course Jerry's going on about Truck's girlfriend, and this is why we find out that Truck was by herself, pretty much in the beginning, in his girlfriend's apartment while she was away. Apparently she has a theft problem where she has to steal. She's boosting, so she's stealing and she's reselling it on the street, trying to make some cash. And she ended up getting herself busted for 30 days, so she's away. We don't see her until later on. And Truck expresses the fact that, hey, I don't care if she was whatever, I'm still gonna stick with her. I love her. And that's when we really kind of solidifies their relationship. Like, no matter what, this is my girl. I'm sticking with her.
Yeah.
And, it was a decent scene to witness as far as like understanding that how much he cared for Annie.
Yeah. So. And we've only been introduced to two friends so far in this movie, Jerry and Dinwiddie, and they both give Truck hell about his girl.
Oh yeah.
Dinwiddie called her a thieving bee.
Yeah.
So yeah, they know her, but Truck's in love with her. So it is what it is. That's his girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Following scene, they're going to see the lawyer, played by Dick Miller. I can't remember what his name was in the movie.
Let me see. Dick Miller's character.
Fogarty.
Yeah.
Fogarty.
Yeah. It was
they
looks like he's a crooked lawyer.
Right. They're supposed to be going to see Fogarty, and Truck basically peer pressures Jerry into getting a speeding ticket. He said, "Hey man, this your girl's car," and he said, "Man, this thing's fast." And, typical instigator. I don't think it's
Right.
that fast. You know, I think you're scared. Jerry opens it up. They get pulled over immediately.
Which I thought was hilarious.
And the cop, man,
But
it's a black cop too, and he's just like total straight man. Like, man, it's an ugly picture. You know, like. And Truck.
Jerry's trying to talk his way out of it. Hey, come on, blood. You know, he's like, man, look, give me your license, man. I ain't trying to hear nothing else.
Yeah, you know, sign this ticket.
But that scene there, kind of again, it shows the interaction between Jerry and Truck, and it's kind of almost like two brothers.
Yeah.
Going at each other and stuff. And that car, what kind of car was that?
Ooh, man. I had that
because I'm not really sure.
The other day,
it looked like it might be a Dodge Charger, man.
It might be. I think there was something about it being a concept. I can't remember because I had it up here the other day. I have to go back and find it.
I think it might have been. It looked like a Dodge Charger, maybe 1970, 1973 Dodge Charger.
If I remember,
but I mean,
I'll post it up here in the video. I'll put exactly which car it is up here in the video. You know what? We skipped the scene. We skipped the scene when he went to go see his girl.
Oh yeah, after they dropped Mr. Garrett off.
Yeah, he went to go see her. He went to go see her. She had like another day before they went to Dinwiddie's office, and you know, and Truck gets verbally assaulted walking through the holding area.
Right,
that's what we meet.
Male to female.
Yeah, that's where we meet Annie and realize you know she got sticky fingers, and she likes stealing stuff.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on the way, like I said, they're on the way to see Fogarty. They get to the courtroom, and we introduced to the legendary Dick Miller with his pink jacket on. And I found this note doing a little background. That was actually his jacket, like his personal jacket. He just wore it to the set, and they thought it was perfect.
What?
Yeah.
He seemed like the type of guy to be like that because you look at his other films, man. He's kind of got his own style to him.
Right.
So yeah, I can see him wearing that.
Right. Yeah. So he brought his own costume to set. And he's talking about, hey, we need to get this guy, this pimp, Gator. And you know, he said, I'm willing to pay $500. And Jerry and Truck know better. You know, they know this dude is dangerous. So they start talking about, man, nah, we need more than that. You know, Jerry's like, we need 1,000. He said, well, tell me what his priors were. And you know, one's assault and this and all this other stuff. Anyway, the point is, he was too dangerous for the amount of money that Fogarty was offering.
Right. Because to be honest with you, in the beginning, I think I heard him say, bring this guy back and you guys will get $250 a piece, like $250.
Right.
And that's what Jerry was like, man, hell no. Nah. You know what I mean? Because again, if he jumps bail, I think Gator's bail was $30K that he jumped.
Yeah. So
that right there is letting you know that the amount was high. Why is it high? This guy is extra dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So then we're like trying to lowball us. Nah, man, we're not even trying to go through that.
Yeah.
So and that was hilarious.
And this is one of the few times where you see, and I don't even want to say fear, but you see like concern in Truck and Jerry that's like, yeah, like we can do it, but not for the amount of money you offer. Like the dude's more dangerous than that. He's not just some average cat we're just gonna go roll up on and he's gonna come back with us. Like we're gonna have to shoot this dude.
Yeah.
So
because that's what Truck said when they went outside. It kind of like it set the tone where he was like, you know, this guy gonna cut and shoot everything that's coming at him.
Yeah.
Because again, you jump in bail, it's $30K. Like, he's desperation mode now. He's gonna do whatever. He ain't trying to go to jail.
Yeah. So Fogarty gives in. He gives him I think it was 1,000 a piece if they bring him back. And another thing that happens, Fogarty. So let's back up. Back in the 70s in some of these movies, a lot of the white characters, even if they weren't bad guys, would throw the N-word around. So like Fogarty is when they ask for $1,000, he kind of slips. He says, for a lousy nigga. And then he kind of stops himself. He says, oh, this is a lousy pimp. And Jerry threw it back at him before they left. He said, don't worry, you know, you got 2 lousy niggas on the case for you. And I like how they threw that in there. You know, they didn't just let him slide with that comment.
During that conversation, the one piece that I liked too also was when Jerry was like, I'm not Jerry, but when the lawyer was getting in desperation, like he knew that they was gonna keep walking. They're not gonna take the job. So he's oh, come on, Truck, come on. And then Truck was kind of turned around and looked at him and was like, man, look, you know what's at stake, how much you stand to lose if we don't bring this guy in, or if you don't get this guy back to court. He was like, shit, and get off the pot, bro. Meaning, pay up, bro.
Pay up.
If you need it done, pay what the cost is.
Ain't nobody else gonna do it.
That was. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Pay me or kick rock.
Exactly.
So
that's when he came up off the money.
Right. And at this point, man, we almost like 15, almost 20 minutes into the movie or so before we even meet Dorinda.
Yeah.
So the legendary Nichelle Nichols could easily have been, the original. Could have easily been the original Pam Grier. You know what I'm saying? She could have taken that place. Like she had the look, she had the body, she had the acting ability. And the only thing is, she didn't have the willingness to do these movies. Doing the research, man, she was offered a ton of these movies, but she turned them all down except for this one. It's the only one she did because she wanted to focus on the convention circuit, because she was doing like a lot of the science fiction conventions and whatnot, and she kind of focused on that more than the acting. So unfortunately, this is the only exploitation movie she did.
Yeah. And I think also if you kind of look at her personality, this Dorinda's character was a very strong female character, and she had to step up for reasons that we'll disclose later on, that she really had to step her game up because she knew that trouble was coming. And the way she did her performance, man, was like, you it's so night and day from Lieutenant Uhura from Star Trek, and then you look at Dorinda here, man. It's like she's got range that was ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Wish I would have seen more of her too.
Dorinda was a G, because listening to Nichelle Nichols talk as Dorinda, I was like, I grew up with this person. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like this is like one of my aunts, cousins, or whatever. Because that's what she sounds like. It's like she was. I don't know if that was her true self that was coming out. Or if that she just.
Make you think.
Right, or that's just she knows the talk, and she had it down pat, because I think Dorinda threw the N-word around more than anybody in the movie.
Oh yeah.
And we get introduced to her with the rest of the hoes, at the salon or wherever they were, and immediately you get the sense that she's the boss.
Right.
She is the boss, and Truck comes in there to speak to her and ask about Gator. She's like, I don't know what Gator is. Of course, Truck don't. He's like, all right, whatever. Dorinda gets up, tells one of her girls to pay the bill. Goes outside, knowing that Gator's on the way to get her or whatever.
Right.
And now this part was a little bit confusing to me. I wasn't sure. I think Gator spotted Truck or Jerry, because he smacks Dorinda out of the car when she leans in to give him a kiss or whatever. And I watched it twice, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure if he just kind of knew something was up or if he spotted them, but the way it's edited, you can't really tell. You just see him smack Dorinda and then take off.
Yeah, I don't know if he caught, because as soon as she leaned over and she gave him a kiss, Jerry kind of nodded to Truck, who was around the corner. He like spotted, and he came around, and I don't know if he saw the car speed up, and that's when he mushed her and then took off, because he knew that it was on him.
Right.
Yeah, I guess he blamed her for being a problem for them knowing who he was.
Right. Then we get we get what is honestly like an unnecessarily long car chase.
Yeah.
But hey,
definitely,
it's the 70s. You got cars, you're going to have a car chase. That's just what it is. Like, they're going all over the city, man. Like, I got no frame of reference to where they started to where they ended.
Yeah.
It might as well be the Terminator 2 car, truck chase or whatever, because I have no idea. Anyway, there's a couple of accidents. Yeah. They end up at it was like a water treatment plant or something.
Water treatment plant, yep.
And Gator gets out, he runs, and let me just say, man, everybody in this movie is in pretty good shape, because Gator, Jerry, and Truck were all running full speed, man. And Gator, I wrote this down, Gator did not drop his hat.
No,
Yeah.
no, he
He
did.
had that hat in his hand the whole time with a kung fu grip. He never gave it up.
That's the pimp. That's the pimp signet.
Right.
Gotta have that with you.
He was not losing that hat, man. Like no, he was gonna die with that hat in his hand.
Right.
Somehow he does a little move on him. He gets away, and this car that Jerry been talking about the whole movie, Gator done jumped in and stole it.
His wife's car.
Right. So now I'm like, oh,
Jerry
man.
was all over the place with that. You're my wife's car, man. Yup. And that was smooth how Gator did it, man. He did it. He did a shimmy on him, man. Like when they came down the steps, he kind of like got him lost in the inside of the treatment plant, then double back on him. And like my thing is like I don't know why Jerry didn't take the keys, but I guess it was in a chase, so he's worried about all right, man. We got to get after this dude.
Right.
Left the keys in the car.
Yeah, and I mean, there's lots of improbable things that happen, but whatever. We can forgive that because Gator just happened to know there was keys in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But anyway, Gator take off, and our boys carjack a dude.
That poor guy.
These dudes committing felonies everywhere.
Both guns in his face.
Right.
Like, yeah. And dude, I think he looked like he was one of those guys that worked at the water treatment plant.
Yeah.
So he getting hit from both angles. Like, man, drive after get after that car right now. He's like, all right, you got a Colt Python and a 38 special in your grill. Like, he shook like beyond belief, man.
Yeah, so they take the dude, man. They got it. They in his truck and they chasing Gator. Gator gets in an accident. Well, actually, he already got in an accident. He kind of jumps a curb in Jerry's wife's car. Truck takes out the car.
Shoots the radiator.
And I'm like, oh man, Jerry gonna have to hear about this, man. When how you gonna explain that to your girl? Why are you chasing?
Very careful.
Why are you chasing people in my car? I can't explain why my wife's Coca-Cola is missing out the fridge. I don't know what I'm gonna do if somebody took her car.
It was a car, yeah.
Because the first thing you do, why you left the keys in it? Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to explain, with the details, the things that they were doing.
Yeah, you can't explain that, man. You can't explain that. So I want you, because I know you got some input on this next scene, man. I want you to explain what happens when Gator jumps the car over the curb, hops out the car, and what happens next?
Okay, so conveniently, there's a bar across the street from where he broke down. So he hauls tail, and I think it was called the Skipper's Inn or something like that. Yeah. Crazy. So he goes in the door, and of course the bar is full with guys in there shooting pool and whatnot. It looked to me like it was, like the standard 70-ish bar, everybody hanging out, shooting pool, hanging out, listening to the jukebox and stuff like that. The Gator pulls out a wad of money. He's like, hey, $50 to any man that stops these two punks from coming in the door. That's right behind me. I want them sent to Boot Hill.
And I wrote that down.
You want them gone. So everybody, like, he throwing money around. Them guys stood up like, yo, more drinking money. $50, you figured the 70s. That was some cash.
Yeah. So,
he puts the cash out there and heads out the back, man, and the ambush is on. As soon as truck came to the door, he getting hit from all angles. Yeah. And I think Jerry kind of tried to go around the back, and he saw Gator, getting away. And this is again another emphasis on the relationship where Gator kind of like, he took off, and Jerry could have gave chase to him easy, but Jerry heard the scuffling inside. It was like his loyalty for Truck.
Yeah.
He said, man, we get this dude later. He went in, and then he gets snuffed up, So they ended up having a barroom brawl with just the two of them, and you got like 10 dudes in there. So it was a scrap from hell, man. But that's when you saw Jerry was able to handle himself. Like, of course, Truck, he the hero. He's stretching people out left and right. Jerry took a couple shots, but Jerry was hanging in there with him. Yeah. And it was a great, whoever choreographed that scene. Yeah. Top notch for 70s work.
That was a good bar fight. That was a good bar fight, man.
Absolutely.
And everybody was bloodied. And it's not like You know, some movies you see, you know, the hero, he don't get scratched, man. Man,
Hair not touched at all. Yeah.
Man, Jerry and Truck was all bruised up, sweating. That's the other thing, man. People don't understand. We know, man. You get in a physical altercation with another human being, man. You're gonna sweat. And it's too many movies you see these fights and stuff, and people ain't sweating. I'm like, dude been fighting for like 10 minutes. He ain't even sweating. Like, what's going on? I said, that's not real. Yeah, Jerry and Truck, man, they was sweating and bleeding everywhere. And I like the comment one of the dudes that got beat up said. He said, man, he said y'all was punks. Nope. Another dude said, man, if he had told us it was Truck Turner, man, I would have told him it would have cost more than $50.
Throw some more money in there, yeah.
And now we kind of established that, man, that, through a couple of scenes that Truck is known. Yeah. Truck is known. He known in the hood, man. He known all over the city. So the dude said he's a 2-ton gorilla. This other dude said, man, Truck Turner, he had to put some more money in the pot, man. But so now we know, this dude, he's established, man. He's 70s John Wick out here, man. Everybody know who he is in the underground. Barroom scene, they go to clean themselves up and everything and say, hey man, we might have to shoot this dude. We might have to shoot this pimp. oh, hold on, I forgot. On the way out the bar, there's a dude delivering some drinks, some beer.
Oh,
he had nothing to do with the fight. He had nothing to do with the fight, man. Truck pistol whipped him in the face, man.
Man was just bringing in a case of Coors.
Wrong place, wrong time, man.
Yep.
He caught it.
He took an L.
All right, so then we go meet another legend, man, in TV and music, man. It's Scat Man. He plays Duke in this movie, and a lot of people remember Scat Man from The Shining.
Yeah.
He was why I can't remember the guy's name now in The Shining.
Dick Halloran.
Yeah. So here, Scatman, Duke is, a retired pimp.
Yeah.
From what I could tell. Like he used to be the man in the street. Now he got a couple of honeys working for him. His bottoms, they're working for him. Jerry and Truck go to talk to him, try to find out some information on Gator. Find out how to find him. How do I get to him? I know he's looking for us. He know we out here looking, so he gonna be ready. Right. So how can we find him? Funny note. Doing the research for this, Scatman couldn't remember his lines, so they had cue cards sitting up for him to read because he just couldn't remember his lines. Right. Like whatever. But you can't tell watching it because the dude's smooth.
Yeah,
he's smooth as at a buddy to say, man, he's slick as a snake. You know what I'm saying? That brother was smooth, man. So respect to him. Everybody in this movie's gone just about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Scatman is again, like you say, he's a legend, man. I remember him for the voice of Hong Kong Phooey, man. We grew up like Phooey, man. And just that in itself, just hearing his voice, man, it just was like, wow, man, these legends are leaving us, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I forgot. I thought he died later than that, man. He died in 1986. Yeah, he was 76 years old then.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and I forget. You know what? He was Jazz, man. He was Jazz in Transformers.
That's right. That is he was. Wow.
Bro, it's crazy when you pull up something and you like, yo, this is crazy. He was in Morningstar.
Yeah, he stayed working, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. And he was on a bunch of episodes of Scooby-Doo too.
Yeah. What character did he play? Did he play himself on Scooby-Doo, or was it somebody else?
Hold on, let me go back. I remember his voice vividly on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think was Hong Kong Phooey on Scooby-Doo. He might have played Hong Kong Phooey.
They're both Hanna-Barbera one day.
Yeah. I wonder it's either that or he ended up playing himself, because a lot of times during that time period, you had Dick Van Dyke and and Carol Burnett and stuff. Anybody that did like a cameo on Scooby, they pretty much sometimes they were playing themselves. So I'm trying to think.
Well, on the New Adventures of Scooby-Doo, this is in the 80s. He played a bunch of various characters.
Okay.
So I ain't pull up the old Scooby-Doo, but the 80s one, he played a bunch of various characters. And yeah, I forgot he was in the Harlem Globetrotters, Gilligan's. Anyway,
Yeah.
That dude did a lot of stuff.
Man, stay busy. Exactly.
So yeah, Duke. You remember what Duke told him about how to find Gator?
You know, I remember the fact that he was trying to, you know, when Truck told him that he was trying to get him, you know, you notice his face, you know, Duke's face changed. He said, "Man, this guy, you know, he ain't no good. He ain't no good." And he mentioned the fact that he was a bad Mac among pimps. Which basically he was stamped like this guy. You don't do business with him. He a piece of, you know. Yeah. And I'm trying to think what happened as far as like. Now
I remember he told him about.
I think he was explaining to him that he had an addiction. I think he was telling that Gator had a cocaine addiction.
And that Blue. He told him about Blue.
Oh yeah.
He told him about Blue.
Yeah.
And that Blue was trying to get some territory, I guess, in the same areas as Gator. He wasn't having he wasn't as successful as he wanted to be, and he had took one of Gator's or Gator had took one of his bottom chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gator had took his bottom chick. And that's how they had
I think he
beef.
was saying it was some kind of German girl or something. Yeah. But I took it underneath. I took it like he was saying not like it wasn't Gator's girlfriend, but it was like one of his top dollar girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, he took them. So like Blue and Gator had beef. So
yep.
Duke gives them the information to go to, and I'm not sure how exactly they ended up where they did, because let's just put this out there. As good as these movies are, if you want to dig, you can find all kinds of plot holes. But entertainment is entertainment. I don't care.
Right.
Either way, they ended up in that alley waiting for that bum to come down and looking through people's trash and whatnot. And they were looking for trash in particular. And they said, was that one guy said it was a bunch of candy wrappers in his trash. He said, "Oh, he's a drug dealer." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where's his trash at? Then they find the guy, and did they even say his name? The drug dealer?
They might have, but I didn't get it.
And I wrote down they kidnapped the bum. I mean, they did kind of like force him into the information, even though
they roughed him up.
Yeah, they gave him a little money. I think they gave him a little money, but yeah, still technically it's a crime, but whatever.
Right.
So then they kidnapped the drug dealer though, because they throw him out, they put him out the window like Nino Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're hanging him out the window and say, "Hey man, we need to find Gator. So this dude gives it up. They kidnap this dude, man, take him to where Gator's is his other hangout is, and he say, "Hey man, you gonna call him? You gonna make him come outside?" Truck tells Jerry, "Man, go around the corner and keep an eye out." Another thing I thought was funny is we see Gator in the hideout. He got coke on the table. You know, he's loading his revolver, and the phone starts ringing because Truck got dude outside calling. Mm-hmm. And you see Gator looking at the phone, looking outside, looking at out the blinds. The girl said, "Gator, you answer that?" He said, "That ain't my job. That's yours." Mm-hmm. And that ain't how you said it. That ain't how you said it. I was trying to be good, man. Trying to be good. Give you a reason to go watch it. If you ain't never seen this movie, this give you a reason to go watch it. I'm telling you, because just hearing how he responds to this woman is priceless. All right, so anyway, she answers the phone, and she said, "It's for you." He said, "Well, it's for me. Ain't nobody who should be calling me here. No, nobody know I'm here." Then your boy get on the phone and Truck's in there pressuring him. You tell him this. And Gator ain't dumb.
Yeah.
Gator ain't dumb. Gator's like, "Man," he said, "Man, how long I got?" Dude said, before Dude said, "It ain't long," Truck hang up the phone. Mm-hmm. And just one more sign of disrespect. The guy said, "All right, what am I supposed to do?" Truck kicked him through the phone booth. This is what you're supposed to do. Get kicked through this phone booth.
Stretched out, yeah. Because to me, the dude was in code. He was trying to speak in code, and he like when he said, "How long I got?" He was like, "Man, it's worse than that." Bro. Yeah. Meaning like they already on you, son. Right. They already on you.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, pretty much. But I thought that part was funny as hell, man. Yeah. I laughed because he was trying to trying to be cool, man, but
Ain't
couldn't
nothing you
do
can
it. The
do.
truck already do.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
ain't nothing you do. You already knew Truck wasn't gonna just let you walk away.
Nah.
So our boy, a shootout ensues. All right,
Right.
between Jerry, Gator, and Truck, and I want to say, I forgot how Gator ended up outside. Cause didn't
What happened?
Truck went around like the back of the house or something like that?
Mm-hmm. He went while him and Jerry were was exchanging fires. Truck running around the back and went up the stairs, and he came up behind him where like the female was hiding behind the couch, and then Gator was shooting out the window at Jerry. So that caused, seeing Truck, that caused, Gator to have to get out.
Yeah.
So he ended up leaving, and what happened was again they were still exchanging fire, Jerry and him, and then Truck ended up climbing up on the building. On top of the I guess it was a garage, and had him dead bang. He was like, "Freeze, pimp!"
Yeah.
And again, Gator being who he is, he's trying to talk his way out. He got the Beretta in the small of his back. Man, look, I got money, man. I give you all this. What I'm saying? And then next, boy pull out on it, and of course, you got two on you. Like you're not gonna win that situation. So
yeah,
Gator went out hard.
Yeah, he went out real hard. Yeah. One thing I'm gonna say, man, Gator didn't punk out at any point in this movie.
No.
Up until the point he died. And this is like what we almost halfway through the movie at this point.
Yeah.
Gator getting killed, and Truck at this point. Truck is late. Him and Jerry go back. I think they was out drinking.
Yeah, they had a few drinks after that. Yeah, definitely. After they get money.
Truck realized like, oh shit, man, I'm supposed to pick up my girl. She got out today. I'm supposed to pick her up. So he late. He late as hell. And what does he bring to pick her up? He said, I got a 6-pack of beer. Hey, bro, and some Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, she wasn't happy, man. She wasn't happy.
But she thrashed that chicken though.
Oh yeah, she was eating it.
They made sure she got a shot of that. Yeah, she wasn't happy that he was late. And he said, "Baby, I'm sorry. I love you and this and that and blah blah blah. Whatever. Same old stuff we see in these movies all the time. That it wouldn't work that easy in real life, but the movie got to happen.
Nah. And again, he got the hero's pass, so he got through it without unscathed or being unscathed.
That's
so,
right. That's that plot armor.
Yeah.
The movie got to happen, so he got to be all right. So they make up and everything. This is when we get to Gator's funeral. Tell me about Gator's funeral.
Pimp Parade.
The Players Ball.
That's one thing I can say. Yeah, the Players Ball and a hand. That's where they got the idea for the Players Ball, man. You had all kinds of different cars, following the hearse. They go in to the funeral, not the funeral, but they go into the graveyard.
Yeah.
And they're viewing the body, and all the pimps come in and they pay their respects. Some of them, they got this thing where they sprinkle a little bit of coke on his hands as they stay laying in the casket. And the girls are crying, and of course Nichelle's character, she's front and center because that's his main girl, that's his woman.
She's
the there. So it was decent to see like all the variations, all the different individuals that were so-called, I guess, on Gator's side, working with him and stuff. And at that point, man, that's when we get introduced to Blue. Yeah. And I think that right there, that point right there is when you notice, for me, that's when the film started to change.
There's a shift.
Right. Because you're upscaling the bad guys. Yep. Like now you're going up a notch. We'll get into talking about Blue later on, but Blue was played by Yaphet Kotto, which, I would think that the most recent character he played, people probably remember him as Parker in the first Aliens film. Love the character.
Yeah. The actor, man, he's a unique. He had a unique face, a unique voice, and for whatever reason, like just growing up, like his face and his voice are like ingrained in my head You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't in that many like huge movies, but he's just one of those actors I remember. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he was in Live and Let Die, correct?
Yeah. That's basically. I think that got him. That was his film that got him on the map.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he played the main villain in that.
Right.
I can't remember the guy's name, but
yeah,
he went against Sean Connery. And he was awesome in that film.
And that's
awesome.
That's one of my favorite Bond movies. That's one of my favorite 70s Bond movies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Yaphet Kotto had a long career, man. Long career. We just recently lost him.
Yeah.
This dude, man, goes all the way back to 1964.
Wow. Yeah.
And his latest was 2014. He's a video game voice in Alien Isolation.
Right. Because he had to come back and reprise the role of Parker. Yeah.
And we lost.
So he started pretty much around the same time. He started the same time as Nichelle, then I guess. But I think Nichelle started doing Star Trek in the 60s too.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. He died 2021 March. He was 81 years old.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember seeing a video of him. He was speaking at I think he went to like one of the Comic-Cons, and then he was out there talking a little bit. And he in his face, I was looking at him. He did look like he was a little, struggling with some type of ailment. So
right.
Definitely played his character well.
Yeah, and this dude, like from the beginning, like you got no reason to like Blue other than the fact that he spit on Gator. Because if you hated Gator, then I guess this dude spit on Gator's corpse, like into the camera, and I wonder, man, like if Yaphet, because during this movie, and I don't know if it's just a result of the research I did to where I noticed it, or if I unconsciously just like realized this dude had like a real sour attitude, is because he was getting divorced when this movie was made, and that's the reason he took the role, because he needed the money.
Hey.
So I'm like, yo, this dude really looked like somebody that's legit just pissed off and a little bitter. Every scene he in, like he ain't happy in any scene.
Wow. Yeah. Well, man, look, that right there, that makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you brought it up, because that solidifies everything now for me. Because Blue had this cocky nastiness about him, man. I mean, I get it, and all that fit when it fit the relationship that him and Gator had, and of course him and Nichelle's character. They beef right off the top. There's no love here,
right?
So, and it showed like big time, man.
Right.
That's nice.
Dude just bitter, man. But
piece of information.
Hey, in the middle of the funeral, man, like he does the most disrespectful thing you can do, man. Other than peeing on the man, like he spit on him.
Yeah.
He spit on the still breathing corpse of Gator. If you pay attention to Gator taking full breaths in the casket.
He was active. Yep.
Yeah. So ain't no telling how hot it was out there, how long he was in that casket, man. But he wasn't trying to hide the fact that he was breathing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I guess they figured that nobody would notice, but of course.
That's one thing with these movies, man. Like I always, whenever I see a corpse on TV, I'm always looking to see if they're breathing. I can't help it. I look to see if they blink, if their eyes move, like all that. I don't really care, but it's just one of the things I look for. So yeah, they need to start digitally putting corpses on screen. That's the only way that you guarantee they won't move. Because Marvel can do that now. They can replace people and just take a little image of me as a corpse and then stick it in the background and don't worry, it ain't gonna move.
Get the proper stillness.
Right. Rigor mortis in that joint and everything. So so Gator gets spit on. His corpse gets spit on. Dorinda and everybody else obviously like, oh, this is a little awkward. Dorinda's pissed off, but nobody do anything. And at this point, you kind of say like, all right, well, Blue must be that dude then. Like, ain't nobody say nothing. Ain't nobody try to step to him. He spit on the dude. Him and his boys left. So now we cut to Dorinda. All right, after the funeral. And one of her girls messed up and said, Dorinda's not gonna be able to keep us together with Gator gone.
With Gator gone? Come here, you little black bitch. That your ass belongs to me. I tell you what you can and can't do with it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I didn't say I was leaving.
Shut up! Now all you whores sit down.
And this is where Nichelle Nichols goes full on gangster. You not shut your mouth.
Yep.
She got to set all the hoes straight right now. And like I said, man, I wish I wrote down verbatim everything she said, but she goes so hard. she goes so hard in this scene, man. It's just hilarious to me. It's one of them scenes I can just kind of watch over and over again because she's so real with it, and you wonder, like, man, was Nichelle really like? Is this like? I think she's just being herself. Like it was so fluid. I felt like she just being herself.
Right. Yeah. When you look at between her pausing and her lines, man, her adrenaline and everything was gone.
Right.
You know, and she was full on in 100%, man. Because again, at that point in time, man, you know, you would figure that the girls are signaling like, hey, you know, we understand the house is burning and we about to be out. You know.
Yeah.
She locking everything down. And any one of y'all try to leave, you gonna catch an L from me.
Right.
You know, straight up. We a family. We gonna stick together. We gonna get this money.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to hear nothing else. And I think she was saying that a couple of other girls had left.
Yeah.
And she said they better learn how to sell whatever they got to sell. Last, because if I see them around here, they not gonna make it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Yeah. Because again, she had to step up, man. She had so much pressure on her because, you know, now wolves are coming in because the den is open.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Gator's gone.
And
you know,
Dorinda,
and they know that it's just her running the stable. So they gonna come in and take whatever. She had a lot of pressure on her, man.
Yeah,
a lot of pressure.
Dorinda wasn't playing any games with the hoes at all. You know what I'm saying? She won't let them know her pip hand just as strong as Gator's.
No.
So now
Yep.
so now Dorinda greets the pimps. And she's come, you know, she's walked there outside in the pool area or whatever, and all the pimps come up to her and try to, you know, basically they're just trying to get more hoes for themselves, honestly, or trying to get a piece of the action, get a piece of Gator's action.
Right.
And you know, making offers
right.
and what was the one white dude that pimp was it Snow? Was he Snow? I can't remember what his name.
No, Snow was the light skinned guy.
Yeah. That
was talking to her.
Yeah.
The guy with the patch was I'm trying to think of his name, man. Desmond. I think it was Desmond. His name was Desmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, yeah, you're right. I did right.
And he also was played by. Yeah. He was played by John Kramer. John Kramer actually did the casting for the film as well. So he was playing in the film as well as behind the scenes, which I thought was kind of neat.
Right.
But that was the guy with the patch on his eye.
So yeah, he offers her, you know, quarter mil for the stable. You say, of course you can keep, you know, operating or whatever. She said, yeah, of course. So she gets all the pimps to sit down and what was the one brother's name? Fontana, played by Stan Shaw.
Yeah.
Stan Shaw, you know, if you know from like Harlem Nights, he was the boxer. The dude's been in a bunch of movies. He's one of them guys who's been in a bunch of movies and you may not even know his name, but you know his face. What was that movie with Nicholas Cage? Man, they were at a fight in Atlantic City. He played a boxer in that movie too. Snake Eyes, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's called Snake Eyes. Anyway,
I think it was gambling. I think he was gambling in it or something.
Yeah. And that's kind of a good movie actually.
Yeah.
So she greets them, and Stan Shaw, Mr. Fontana, when she's getting the pimps together to sit down, the first thing he says is, "I'm already here, bitch." Like, yo, these pimps is like, they pimps all the time, 24/7. You know what I'm saying? There's no turning on and off, no extra respect because Gator died, none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Nope. Business.
It's all strict business. And then Dorinda puts forth the stable. Actually, I kind of like this part. It sounds ridiculous when you watch it. It just kind of looks ridiculous, but like, whatever. It's pretty cool because she knew the monetary value of each one of the hoes.
Right.
You know, from the bottom.
That's her stepping up.
Right. Right, from the bottom to the top. She's like, $230-something thousand worth of worth of hoes right here. And she said, yeah, all right, girls, go mingle, And then they start talking business. But the business she wanted to talk about is something they don't want to hear.
Yeah, of course.
She said who's gonna kill the nigga that killed Gator? And that's when everybody started being like, oh well, yeah, I don't know.
That's when you saw the separation from the wolves from the sheep.
Right.
Right. A lot of people talk that game like, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that on the streets. But again, when Truck's name come up, she referred to him as rabbits.
Right.
Y'all need to be laying eggs rather than pimping hoes.
Yeah. And you could tell they were a little shook when she said Truck Turner. And if I remember correct, I might be wrong. I have to go back and look, man. But if you remember on Black Dynamite, the movie from 2008, I've watched the audio commentary for that movie so many times. If I remember right, they based the Pimp Council scene in that movie off of Willie Dynamite. But the reaction that they get in the Pimp Council scene when they start talking about Black Dynamite, I want to say he pulled from this movie. Yeah. Where like as soon as she mentioned Truck Turner's name, everybody was like, oh, well, I don't know. Because in Black Dynamite, when they mentioned that, hey, Black Dynamite's on the street, everybody said, oh, well, So, like I said again, Truck Turner's got a reputation. And like one of the pimps said, Truck, he ain't no poop butt.
Nope.
You want us to kill him. What's in it for us? She said, well, naturally, I'm gonna give you a piece of the stable. Mm-hmm. And most of them were like, all right, bet. Mm-hmm. Blue was like,
especially that one guy that was sitting to her left,
the light skin dude.
Guy. Yeah. The light skin dude with the reddish hair.
The one that talked
done.
Proper.
Yeah, all right.
He said, He said, yeah, no problem. And Blue said, I'm gonna be a father. Did he say it right then? So I'm gonna be a father to some orphans, or was that later?
I think it was right when he left.
Okay.
Yeah, right when he was talking to his guy, he was like, "Hey, man, just let you know, I'm gonna be a father to a bunch of orphans." Yeah, because he knew what was going to happen. Yeah, he already. And even the guy Snow that you referred to, the black guy that had the black tux on Snow, he was saying that that you gonna get a whole bunch of people wet up behind this.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, whatever, can you do it or not?
Yeah, he said, Dorinda, you trying to piss standing up, and you'll get a whole lot of people wet.
Exactly.
So now, after the pimp meeting is over and everything, we get to the first. I want to say, did we jump right into the first attempt at someone trying to kill him from there? Oh, you know what? Let me back up. I wrote something down that Blue said.
Okay.
Blue said, you had that crocodile nigga working for you. Now he's getting his mail delivered from the groundhog. Well, I thought that
was... I missed that one. Oh, man. Yeah. Yep.
And he said it so fast and so hard. I was like, the dude just died.
Yep. No love there.
None.
No love there.
And I was like, you said that crocodile nigga, like, because the dude's name was Gator. He said getting his mail delivered from the groundhog. I was like, you can't go no harder than that.
Nah, nope. Not at the day of his death. like at his funeral, like, damn.
You already spit on him, like, damn, man, you just stepped on him too. Good gracious. We get the kind of a montage of the pimps who are the worst assassins on earth, apparently, who want to take up Dorinda on her office. You want to give me a rundown of that? Because I know you got something to say about that.
Man, look, the amount of cannon fodder was ridiculous, man. Again, you kind of see some interaction with Truck and Annie. Truck is trying to talk to her about doing other things other than boosting and stuff like that, and everything. And like you said, the first attack came with the one guy, I can't remember his name, but the reddish hair. And it was funny because they were playing themselves off like construction workers.
Yeah.
That's Truck Turner, man. Look, man, that's him. Hey, now wait a minute, man. Now you said kill a nigga. That's Truck Turner. Look, man, what's the matter with you? We got a job to do. Man, look here, man. Look, come on. Man, that's fuck you, man.
And Truck and his girl was coming back to the apartment with groceries. And the one guy was like, man, you just said it was just some regular dude, man. You didn't say it was Truck Turner, man. That's Truck Turner, man. He said, yeah, that's him. Let's do this, man. The dude was like, man, forget that. I'm out of here. So the dude automatically aborted mission right from jump.
Yeah.
So the dude was like, all right, man, I'm going to do it myself. So he had a silencer, man. Like you said, worst assassins in the world. You had dude dead bang in your sights.
Yep.
Hit the bag, and I guess the bullet ricocheted off the something bag, and immediately Truck pulling out. He in war mode, So now you done messed up. So there's a shootout that transpires, and of course, dude tried to make a break for it. Truck had him in the sights. And it's funny how most of the people that Truck put down just before he put them down, you hear the organ music, the church organ music. So it's the same montage going on, the same Truck Turner theme. And just when he put them down, you hear that church organ, and you're like, yep.
Yep.
We're about to be out of here.
It's like when you hear the Friday the 13th theme,
that right there to me. Yeah, that little touch right there with them dying and having the church music, the church organ, just before he did the killing shots.
Perfect.
Classic, man.
Beautiful. Yeah, and let's give the hood Oscar to the Pimp Man when he died, because he did the most to die. He was like,
yeah.
I say, well, what is he gonna fall? What's he doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
This film seems to be full of over exaggerated deaths.
I guess the director was like, man, die, but like for a long time and do everything possible. Like make it the most exaggerated death possible. And that was his motivation. Then now we cut to who was the next pimp that tried to kill him? Was it Fontana?
Yeah, it was your boy Fontana.
And is that the one where he was on the fire escape and was pointing down at him when Truck was trying to feed the cat?
Yeah.
Once again, man, he could only been 10 feet away at the most.
Yes.
And missed. Like, got the high ground and everything. Like Obi-Wan said, man.
Yeah. Again, the high ground. Chase up the fire escape.
Yeah, somehow Fontana, he catches it
too. That there was number 2.
So who came after him? Did somebody come after him again? Because I forgot to write it down if there was one after Fontana.
Let me see.
Fontana, before they tried to set him up.
Okay, hang on for a second. No, I think those two were the two major deaths.
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when Blue. They had that scene where Blue was talking to Desmond about the calling in the insurance company.
Yeah.
So we had the conversation with about the insurance company, and that's when I think Blue went back and had a conversation with Dorilla about his plan about calling in the enforcers or the assassins.
Yeah.
And he gave an ultimatum like 25%. We paid the insurance company. This will be done and over with.
Yeah.
Everybody can get back to what they were doing.
It was an offer she kind of couldn't refuse if she wanted the job done. And what
Right.
I can't remember is if
she saw how many people were dying.
Right. I can't remember if he had that conversation with her before or after he broke into Truck and Andy's apartment. He was holding the cat when they came in. Because it was after somebody was
right.
killed one of the pimps. He came back and Blue was in his apartment.
Yeah, that's the guy that he shot in the street that was posting as a construction worker.
Right.
And that's when Truck and Andy went in the house, and then he was like, what's all this shooting? What's all about the shoot that's going on outside? And that's when he gave Truck that warning face to face. Was like, hey man, you better go on vacation.
Right.
Spend about 90 years on the beach somewhere. The sky's about to open up on your head.
Yeah. Truck gave him to the count of 10, man. He was counting, and Blue was like, okay, man, fixed himself up, walked out. He said, chill, pussy. Like, Blue was smooth, man. Blue was smooth.
Yeah, you can tell that he was definitely like a cut above the rest as far as like just being a villain, man.
Yeah.
You know, the other pimps they had the capacity, I guess, to do bad, but it seems like Blue had it in him. Like he was a pimp and other things.
And ruthless.
You know what I'm saying? And it showed from the way he operated because he sat back and watched everybody else get smoked up before he made his move.
Right. I mean, hey, he might as well. You know?
Right.
So yeah, we get you know, the insurance company shows up. There's some hired killers. I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot. Blue and Desmond get together, come up with a plan to get Truck. So they talk about the insurance company. They get the insurance company involved. The killers. Blue gets Desmond to say, "All right, man, I'm gonna need you. You gonna set him up. So I'm gonna use you basically to draw in Truck, and we're gonna get him where we want him, so we can try to drop him."
Mm-hmm.
Truck gets the word, gets the Blue. This was before. No, hold on, I'm missing something, man. When did they get Dinwiddie?
What happened was
it
was before, right, it was before. Get my head straight.
I want to say it was because they had set up Dinwiddie, and then he that plan didn't work, and then Blue and Desmond, Blue said, "I'm gonna get you to bring." Okay.
Right.
So what happens? My fault. What happens in the bail bond office with Dinwiddie?
The first attempt.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the first offense. Yeah, that was when they went in there, and again, this shows that Blue was done playing. So they walked into the bail bondsman shop, and just confronted Nate and beat him up, and had him call Truck and had him say, "Hey, look, I got work. I need you here now." So Truck, spent the night with Annie. So he's all drunk up. So he calls Jerry, to cover for him, because he said, "Hey, man, Nate's not sounding too well, man. Go and check and see what's going on." So thinking that Truck's on the way, the insurance company gets squared away at the door to set an ambush. When Jerry goes in, and that's when Jerry left the film.
And let's give a hand to Jerry's stuntman.
Yeah,
because
definitely,
dude took a mean dive in front of that door, man. Because you would have thought they shot him with a rocket. Not no shotguns or whatnot. You would have thought they shot him with Galvatron's cannon, man. Like
bazooka. yeah, exactly.
Like launched him. That joint was crazy. And poor Jerry, man. And this, matter of fact, the scene right before that is the first time we ever even saw his wife. You only see her like kind of like a profile.
For small time.
Right. But yeah, poor Jerry. And I kind of they didn't really address Jerry's death too much, in the movie, but it's part of the movie. Your partner always got to die.
Right.
But yeah, I felt bad for Jerry, man. And Truck finds out what happened, man. He goes to see Dinwiddie in the hospital. Dinwiddie's all beat to death. Like, I'm surprised he was alive, honestly.
Right.
And he tells Truck what happened and everything, and that's when the Truck antennas go up, man. He's in kill mode. He's in kill mode now. You know what I'm saying? Took my boy.
Right.
Got my boss. He finds out about Desmond.
Yeah.
So he gets to Desmond's crib and just kind of walks in there. He offered the security guard an enema. How do you say it? Hold on.
Yeah.
I forgot how he said it, man. He said, man, he put the gun in his butt cheeks and said, I'm gonna give you an enema. So the dude was like, all right, man, all right.
Before that part, remember they got back to the apartment, to Annie's apartment, and the apartment was ransacked. And again, this was another example of the level that Blue was on.
Yeah.
And he had the insurance company. They ransacked the whole apartment, and they ended up doing a John Wick and killing the cat.
Yeah.
Hung the cat.
Yeah. Oh,
so
man.
Francis saw his way out of here too. So
I don't even know how I forgot I don't know how I forgot to write that down because that was one of the first things when I rewatched it. I was like, oh man, I gotta write this down. Man, they hung the cat. Like that's crazy. And you know, if you look real close, the cat blinking, but whatever, it's a cat.
Right.
But I'm like, yo, they ruthless. Not only did they ransack the place, man, they had to hang the cat. You know, like it was unnecessary. I was
That
like,
was
yo, you
really
going,
unnecessary.
Yeah, you going real hard now. You just, and then they hung the cat. So like, you could have did anything to a cat. You had to hang it.
You had to hang the cat. Yeah, that was personal. They made it personal. Like, this is for you.
Annie took that. Annie took that real hard. You know what I'm saying? That was her cat. That was her baby. So yeah. So now we get Truck at Desmond's crib. He's asking for information about Blue. Desmond asks like, I don't know nothing. But you know, he already knows what's up. He's trying to set him up. So Desmond says, yeah, last house in the hills.
Right.
Truck rides up, and I like to think of this scene as what's his name, Arnold Schwarzenegger, playing as John Matrix, infiltrating Victor Maitland's mansion.
Yes.
So if you get that reference, put a comment. I always, whenever I watch Commando or Beverly Hills Cop, I always think of those two movies together during that scene. You know, you could replace Eddie Murphy with Arnold Schwarzenegger or vice versa. It's the same house. It's the same house. It was filmed in the same house. But anyway, Truck tries, infiltrates the crib, man, and the supposed these worst hitman ever, man. Like these dudes are bad at their job. I feel like there's so many other ways they could have got Truck. They could have got him. They could have got him at his crib. They could have just waited for him to come back.
Yep.
You know, but you know the movie got
instead of ransacking the place, they could have got him right there.
Right. You know the movie got to happen. I get it. You know, so he just drops these dudes one by one. You know, like it's nothing. Like you don't even get a scratch. Like I said, he was the worst hitman ever, man. I don't know what they were trained for. It. They out there walking around like, yo, this dude just walks in. He just walks in and kills all y'all. This dude was incredible. He just murks all those dudes. And from there, like, only person's left is Blue. That's the last dude he got to get. And at this point, he's like, no, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna kill Blue. So what Truck goes.
We forgot one thing. Mm-hmm. We didn't mention how he had to get Annie out of the way because Annie was in danger too after they hung the cat. So he had to figure out a way to get her out of the picture. And of course, with her already having a priors to stealing and shoplifting and stuff, he set her up, and that basically took her to safety because they're not going to go after her in jail.
Because he had already
told her to get her out of the way. And that's when after that, that's when he turned on the heat.
Yeah, he had already told her, "Hey, go stay with your mom." She's like, "I ain't doing that. I ain't going nowhere." He said, "Well, all right," and set her up. And I don't know how he talked his way out of this one afterwards because setting my girl up to go to jail is like I think he crossing the line right there.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna come back.
Not happy.
So like you said, he gets his girl out the way, man, and goes and he goes back to the hospital, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, to see Nate.
Yeah, to see Nate, and Blue and his goons are there. Because by now he knows that Truck has already killed all the insurance company.
Hitman.
And one of the most, I hope I'm not skipping nothing because I'm trying to remember now, but one of the most improbable scenes in a movie. But like you said, plot armor's got the movie got to happen. Truck talking to Dinwiddie, man, and Blue got the drop on him in the hospital. Truck's whole back is to Blue, and Blue lets him know he's there. And Truck said, "Well, you better pull yours because I'm gonna pull mine." Like they had time for this whole conversation, and Blue could have walked up behind him, man, and plugged him. And luckily, Truck had slipped Dinwiddie. Was 38? Looked like he had slipped him something kind of small.
38. Yeah. It was Jerry's 38.
Right. Slipped it to him and said, "Hey, man, you might need this and whatnot." And that's when Blue show up. And then Shootout ensues, you know, hospital madness. Eventually, man, Blue picks up a little random kid walking around the hospital. Like,
yeah. Did the Nino Brown on it. Did the Nino Brown on it. Picked up a kid, man.
Yeah, Blue was ruthless, man. And Truck shot. Didn't Truck shoot him when he was holding the kid? Or am I remembering this wrong?
Yeah, he when he was in the elevator, Truck took the stairs down, and when he came out of the elevator, Truck had a bead on his leg, so he shot him in the leg first. The kid dropped and ran toward Truck.
That's right.
And that's when Blue knew he was in high water, so he limped away, and I guess he didn't think that Truck was gonna shoot him in the back.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, but then Truck plugs him, and Blue has, you know, maybe the longest death scene of a villain in a movie, because Blue he walks down the block a little bit, man, gets in the car, you know, it starts it up, and Truck just walking behind him like Michael Myers, man, just waiting on him to die. and the classic, you know, when it's got to happen this way in any movie. If somebody dies in a car in the driver's seat, the head got to hit the horn, bang, and that's exactly what happens to Blue, and he's finally gone. You know, Blue's finally gone. This Truck turns and killed like 27 people at this point, and this dude's a serial killer.
Yeah,
he was a mass murderer, man, and they don't get questioned by the cops. Don't get you know what I'm saying? Like all the improbable stuff that happens in movies that we love, we don't care, and we don't think about all that shit.
Nah.
Well, yeah, Truck, man, he comes out of this, you know, unscathed essentially, and goes to get his girl, you know, from lockup, and of course she pissed. I mean, like he should expect. And he just said, "Hey, baby, you know, I'm sorry. We can go away. I got all these boxes unpacked up and everything." And them boxes wasn't secure. I don't know if he's gonna do more than 10 miles an hour. That shit gonna be all over the road. But whatever.
Yeah, they weren't packed well at all. They were not packed well at all.
But yeah, man, Truck and his girl, they drive away, man, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. What? Yeah. Give me your. Go ahead.
Get that one part. The one part that remember when he went back to Dorilla's crib and told her, "Hey, y'all out of business. Pack your shit and get out of here." That right there, man. That was a scene. That's to me. I love that scene because simple fact is that she knew the gig was up, man. Yeah. It was a wrap. So he got her to go in the bedroom, throwing stuff at her. Pack your stuff here, put your shit up out of here, or I'm gonna do you next, you know. And in desperation, you know, she got a 38 in the drawer, you know, and he told her, "Hey, before you go for that piece,
before you get that piece out, your ass is air conditioned.
You ain't gonna kill no woman."
You're gonna be air conditioned. You know what I'm saying? Means I'm gonna air you out. And first thing she said is, "Truck Turner, you ain't gonna shoot no woman."
Blow. And that's the end of Dorinda.
Center mass even. Rap.
Yeah, she went out hard though. Like nobody in this movie really went out like a punk.
Nah.
Yeah. Everybody was pretty hard about it.
She went out like a man.
Yeah.
She went out like a man.
Yeah. Dorinda, man, give her some props, man. She played. Nichelle Nichols played the hell out of that role, and like I said, man, I don't know if she was playing. I really don't. Like, I feel like she might have been a pimp in L.A. for real, the way she was acting, and what we see from her on Star Trek was just, you know, that's her TV anchor persona. You know what I'm saying? And Dorinda's the real her because it was too real. Like she sounded like who she was playing. Right.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what's give me your overall thoughts about this movie?
This film again, like we were talking about in the beginning, wonderful film, man. It fit the campiness of of that genre for blaxploitation, but it's definitely underrated, man. I think it should have gotten a lot more love. And even nowadays, people that haven't seen it, or they need to check it out, because there's more films out here besides, like, the classics that we know firsthand. The thing that comes up top of our head is Shaft, or stuff like that. But this film was underrated, man, and it needs to be appreciated. The actors and actresses in it were top notch, man. I mean, I didn't even know too much about Annazette Chase, who plays Annie.
Yeah.
She did a great job, man. I mean, everybody in this film really just fit the bill for the film, and everything was perfect to me. I done got no complaint. 10 out of 10 to me, man.
Yeah. So on my end, like, I hadn't seen this movie in so long that, like, I only ever remember, like, bits and pieces of it. You know what I'm saying? And to see it again, I'm like, yo, how do I not remember so much of this? And like, this movie, this is actually like an entertaining movie, because let's say we were talking about some movie that, like, I really didn't like, or whatever. It was not that good. I probably would have watched it one time, took some notes or whatever. I done watched this movie 3 times in the last 5 days.
Yeah.
Not because I needed extra notes. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to watch it again.
Yeah. It was just that good.
Yeah, it's just that good, man. It's just one of those rewatchable type of movies. And I think with some people, when it comes to, like, movie reviewers and everything, they get caught up on, like, the artistic meaning and what this person's performance and this and the story is so great, and you're just getting caught up in all the things that make a movie good, but it doesn't necessarily make a movie rewatchable. You know what I'm saying?
The technical stuff. Yeah.
Right. Like, there's great movies out there that I wouldn't watch a second time. And then there's quote unquote bad movies that I would watch over and over and over and over again, because they're made in a way that you can just rewatch them and they're fun. It doesn't have to make a lot of sense. It doesn't have to actually be quote unquote good. There's a reason that people appreciate movies later, like, like The Thing from 1982, or even like Big Trouble in Little China. Like, they appreciate those movies later for what they were, but, like, there's a reason that people love those movies from the start. Like, I can watch either one of those movies over and over and over.
Right.
Because they are actually good movies. So this is another, man. Truck Turner is another one. And like you said, man, when it comes to movies like this, it's 10 out of 10, man. Like, it don't get much better than Truck, man. It don't get much better than this. It definitely got sillier. There's definitely sillier movies than Truck Turner out there when it comes to, like, the blaxploitation movies. But silly doesn't mean bad.
Right.
Blackula is a silly movie, but it's good.
Right. Definitely.
So, yeah, like you said, man, Truck, man, it's 10 out of 10, man. Like, it's one of those movies I can watch over and over again. Now that I know I can, watch it for free whenever I want, I probably will. Even when I need some background noise. Truck Turner be
free on Pluto.
Yeah. So you got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of these films, man, again, we talked about this before, they're not, I don't think that they're celebrated enough. Again, I think sometimes people look at the films because of the subject matter and they get a little, shy. But you got to understand that time period, that time point, this is what was selling. Yeah. And these actors and actresses had to basically, maybe even lower their standards to try to get out there and to pursue their careers. Mm-hmm. And they actually, if you look at the film for what it is and the acting ability that's in these films, some of these scenes that they do are just amazing, man. It needs to be celebrated, because, like you said, these films, they seem to be on the way of being erased. Yeah. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's copyright stuff going on, if it's legal stuff, it's whoever has the estate of these films, whatever. But you can't go to the corner store and buy these things. You can't go buy Truck Turner at Walmart.
Nope. And you gotta find it on some service like this,
Right. So it's something that that we need to start thinking about. Do we want these pieces of history to be deleted?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Especially since almost everyone who was in that movie is gone.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they're not around to talk about these movies anymore. And you know, hopefully we have the option to keep them alive. You know, like I say with Pluto and Tubi. Tubi has like a lot of old school movies on it for free.
Right.
We don't know, you know, who owns all the rights to all the movies, and maybe some soundtrack issues, whatever. You know, there's all kinds of different hands in the pot, and everyone has a claim to something. You know,
right.
Like you said, we want to try to talk about these movies and keep them fresh in our minds, and hopefully, you know, someone discovers this movie, even if, you know, hey, it may only be 10 people to ever watch this interview that we did, this discussion we did. If one of them discovers Truck Turner because of this, then I mean, good. You know what I'm saying? Because that one person can spread it to 10 other people. You know, that's how it works, and we can't we can't let this stuff, you know, go by the wayside because
fade away. Right.
You know, we weren't necessarily old enough to go see this movie in the theaters, but we know about it. We know the character, and you know, we can't just kind of let it disappear. You know, so we want to. For anybody watching, you know, we're going to talk about other movies too. You know, not necessarily just Blaxploitation movies, but just know there's going to be plenty of these movies we're going to be talking about. Because that's, you know, whether it's every other video, I don't know how we want to do it yet. Hey, it's the first one, y'all. But we definitely don't want to let those movies go by the wayside, and want to give them that love, give these people that flowers, especially the ones that are still alive. You know,
absolutely,
give them as much love as possible. And like I said, man, Truck. I'm so glad you said this movie, man, because it's one of the ones I hadn't watched and hadn't even thought about. Hadn't watched it in years.
Right.
Hadn't thought about it. So yeah, I'm glad I'm back on it now. So look, for everybody that's watching this, you know, thank you. You know, if you sat through this whole conversation, I don't even know how long it was. Hopefully you had fun, as much fun as I had watching this movie, and as much fun as we had talking about it. Because we could probably talk about this for another 2 hours if we wanted to, for real. You know.
Yep.
We didn't even dig into the soundtrack.
Pretty much.
You know, we didn't even dig into the soundtrack and stuff. So there's plenty to know about these movies. And one more thing, you were talking about not letting the movies disappear. We can't let these soundtracks disappear either. Because some of the most legendary music that you know we know of came from some of these movies. Like they were on the soundtracks of many of these movies. And we could shoot, man. Honestly, I might want to write that down. We might be able to do a whole video on famous songs that were in Blaxploitation movies, and that's where that's the soundtrack they were on. You know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got I think Isaac Hayes and Curtis Mayfield. I think that was another person that kind of like put up some iconic soundtracks for our films.
That Pusher Man.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, man. So we got plenty more, y'all. We got plenty more coming, and if you have suggestions, go ahead and throw them in the comments. If you're watching this video, hey, all suggestions are good suggestions. You know what I'm saying? Somebody in the audience might name a movie that neither one of us had even thought about and was like, oh my God, why didn't we think of that? Why didn't we think of that movie? It's perfect.
Right.
You know? So yeah. Thanks for watching, y'all. Alex, thank you for coming, man. And
anytime. Let's do this again.
We'll be
back
soon.
Let's do this again, man.
Thank you.
Okay. Peace.